Tony Chopper, or Chopper for short, is a reindeer that ate a devil fruit. He's the sometimes pet and always genius doctor of the Straw Hat crew. He was the sixth man on the crew, not counting Vivi, who came along when the Straw Hats discovered him on Drum Island. His mission is to discover and cure every illness he encounters on the Grand Line. But what can we discover about Chopper and the inspirations behind this blue-nosed reindeer? Let's take a look at Chopper's character design first. Based on his character design, Chopper and his antlers and hooves was inspired by reindeer, because he's a reindeer. But going deeper into his character design, Chopper doesn't have just one look, he has several different appearances. He consumed a Zoan-type devil fruit, the human fruit, which gives him the ability to transform into human hybrids. And with his own devil fruit research, he unlocked several additional forms. Without going into specifics about each form, each hybrid form emphasizes a different aspect of human or reindeer biology and physiology. This points to another inspiration behind Chopper, which is the Tanuki, which Chopper is often confused for, much to his chagrin. The Tanuki, or raccoon dog, is an animal native to Japan that, according to Japanese mythology, has the ability to transform into other things, or people, as a kind of animal yokai. Chopper embodies this very well-known aspect of Japanese folklore by being a small brown furry animal that transforms into other beings. Now, of his many forms, some of them do seem to have direct inspirations outside of strongman or big horn guy. Chopper's Kung Fu point has clear inspiration. When you first see it, you wonder why Chopper's Kung Fu point, which is one of his most athletic and agile points, is so fat. But when you think of other fat Kung Fu masters, you realize the Kung Fu point is inspired by the Kung Fu Panda. I mean, if it walks like a panda and fights like a panda, Chopper's Kung Fu point was inspired by Po, and they look very much alike. Kung Fu Panda was a movie starring a giant kung fu using panda, released by DreamWorks in 2008. Another clear inspiration is in Chopper's monster point. This point has a strong resemblance to the Wendigo of Native American Algonquin folklore. The Wendigo is a giant humanoid beast that has sometimes been imagined with antlers or horns. Algonquin lands are in the northern part of North America, which is very snowy and cold, much like Chopper's winter island of Drum. The Wendigo is also described as having a heart of ice, which is also apropos not just because Chopper is from a winter island, but because as he found friendship and family, his heart, which was quite icy itself, began to melt. Additionally, when Chopper first enters this point, he is unable to distinguish friend or foe, and his heart freezes over. Now, when it comes to the inspirations behind Chopper, there's one specific trope that presents itself multiple times in his introduction, and that's the idea of monsters. Chopper was viewed as a monster by everyone around him growing up. First by his fellow reindeer because he was born with a blue nose, and then as a half-human monster when he tried to venture into the human world after eating his devil fruit. Therefore, a clear line can be drawn between Chopper's story and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Much like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Chopper is a lonely and misunderstood creature who desperately wants companionship. And the very people that create him, his dear family, and in a way Dr. Hiruluk, leave him behind.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Not to mention every normal person that views him, especially when he's in his heavy point, deem him a monster and chase him away, just like in Frankenstein. Now, when you look at his personality specifically, Chopper is a doctor with a sweet side and a mean side. His entire ability to go from adorable, cute animal to a rough and tough fighter or monster is reminiscent of the monster Mr. Hyde from Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. While Chopper doesn't have the strange vices that Hyde had in the original story, which is why Jekyll turned into him to satiate them in the first place, Chopper and Dr. Jekyll are both doctors, and Chopper, much like Dr. Jekyll, uses a specific serum, his rumble ball to transform into this monster. This monster, Chopper's monster point, being a beast that cannot distinguish friend or foe, and knows only rage, a beast that Chopper cannot control, at least before the time skip, much like Mr. Hyde.
Dr. J?
My name is Mr. Hyde!
Moving on, let's talk again about the idea of the deer. Another inspiration behind Chopper must be due to his profession as a healer and his species as a deer. The general global folklore about deer being beings of healing and health. In folklore all around the world, the deer is a creature of health and life, from Christianity to the Greek and even to Japanese lore. According to the legend of Saint Hubertus, a noble huntsman encountered a stag with a glowing cross between its antlers, much like Chopper is designed to show, and the hunter Hubertus preserves its life. In Greek mythology, it is a creature to never be wounded for its divine protection. In the Celtic tradition, there is a white stag that leads heroes to rebirth or healing transformations. In Japanese culture, especially in Nara, the deer is a protected animal, a messenger of the god, and has ties to peace and well-being. There are actually very many global traditions that link the deer as symbols of healing. This is likely related to their antlers, because deer antlers and reindeer antlers are grown to be useful for a season before falling off and then later regrowing or healing. In this way, deer have become a symbol of healing and well-being across the globe. Still, of this lore, the story of Saint Hubertus seems to have the most direct inspiration on Chopper. But that leaves one more very important inspiration behind Chopper. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Chopper was inspired by Rudolph. He is a reindeer with a strange colored nose who was ostracized by other reindeer for his appearance. Eventually, he was chosen by an eccentric elf-like man who asks him to join his team. Chopper's blue-nosed tragic backstory and him being chosen to join a new team as a leader of all things medicine is a perfect parallel and why he's clearly inspired from Rudolph, which, although most famous by the Rankin Bass stop-motion movie and the song, originated in a short story by Robert L. May in 1939 and was published by the Montgomery Ward Department Store. So Chopper has a very many sources of inspiration. He's a medical, mixed up, marvelous monster and the doctor of the Straw Hat Crew. But could there be even more to Chopper? Regardless, we know now that Chopper surely has the prescription for the cutest doctor we've ever seen.